everyone, this is Nikki Rowland, and today I have a layout to share for Simple Stories. I'm using the Good Stuff collection, which is brand new, and I'm having a blast creating with it. This is my third layout I have made, and I was really inspired. You know how sometimes you just see something and it just sparks that idea? Well, I was really inspired by the numbers, every so often I make a kind of 10 things about you layout about my children, and I haven't done one for a while, so I thought I would do one about my little boy who is 3, I've got a lovely little photo of him, and then I have the numbers 1 to 10. They are in the, I think they're in the bits and pieces, or they might be in the journaling. I think they're in the journal bits actually. So I'm really focusing on the journal bits for this layout. I'm going to use a lot of them for writing on because this layout is going to contain 10 things. So therefore I need 10 different things to write on. Some are really tiny and some are really big and some are in between. So I am picking out what will work. Obviously I don't want to make my journal spots too big because I have to fit 10 of them onto the layout. So I'm just working with what I've got really. So the 3 tags in the journal bits work really well. Yes, nope, and maybe. They have gone onto the layout. I just thought I would, rather than just have a pure white background, I thought I would create a little bit of interest by creating this little shelf in the middle with the long 12-inch sticker on the sticker sheet, which is like a scalloped border. So I've just put that across the middle. And then obviously I've arranged my numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are on the middle row, and then 8, 9, and 10 are at the bottom. So I could have done 12 because there were 12 numbers, but I in the past I've always done 10 things about you. So rather than divert from that, I just thought I'd stick with 10. Plus it's probably easier to fit 10 on a page than 12. So I went with that. So okay, so I have a photo of my little boy. I'm going to mount that onto some patterned paper, and then I have the big peach from the journaling bits, and it says this is just Peachy. Well, yeah, he is, so that's good. So that I've just put that, I'm going to layer that behind the photo, and then I've got the words right now from the foam phrase stickers, and that's going to be my title. I'm also going to add the word Theo because that's his name. So Theo right now, and then include 10 things about him. So the word Theo I'm going to add from the sticker book. So the right now font in the tiles actually is repeated in the sticker book, which I really love. I'm going to write his name just with those stickers. So it looks like it was like a custom-made title because it's in the same font. So that's really cool. Okay, so just making sure those little bits and pieces are all stuck in place. And then now I've got my photo in place and my title in place, now I can arrange all the rest of the bits and pieces around. Like I said, I've already got an arrangement where I've got the 4 numbers in the middle, 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. And then I just need a journaling spot for each one. So I've got the tags. I've got a piece of ephemera that says I love pizza. Not that I can really write on that, but that is relevant. I've got some tags, other types of tags or labels. I've got speech bubbles. I've also got an envelope with a letter. That's number 8. That's all of those things I can write on those. Now I have really tiny writing, or I can write really tiny. That works for me. But actually when I gave this out to my husband and said, have a look at this, he said, my goodness, how do you write so small? Well, I do write very small. And my writing is really tiny, or it can be really tiny. I can do it bigger, but when I'm doing something like this, I will write really, really tiny. So, you know, somebody in the future reading my layout might need a magnifying glass, but yeah, especially as some of the journaling spots are really quite small. So I kept my writing particularly small in order to fit within those. But there are bigger journaling spots. If you wanted to do a slightly different version with, you know, maybe 5 facts about someone, then you could use the bigger journaling spots than I did, but they wouldn't fit on with 10 items. I've got my tags that I'm just tying through now with some ribbons. So 2 of them I'm going to tie through with black, and the other one I'm going to tie through with green, just adding some silver thread around the top to, actually, no, I didn't do that. The bottom one I've tied with black and I've tied around with silver thread. The middle one I've tied through with green ribbon and again tied around that with silver thread. So rather than create like a big knot, it was better to tie around with a small amount of thread to make it not so bulky. And then the top one there, I've just tied through with some embroidery floss in the kind of corally pinky colour. So that all goes well with the colours. I didn't have much ribbon on hand, so I just had to kind of go with what I had. Okay, so now I have got all of those things stuck in place. I've got all my journaling handwritten on as well. And I decided that this layout felt a little bit, it's not sparse was the wrong word, but too white, because there's a lot of empty space in between all the bits, and I just felt that it needed a bit more of an injection of colour. So I chose the most colourful paper in the collection, this stripy one, and I have cut off. I did consider, I want to make a border. Now I did consider just keeping it as a whole piece and sticking the white on top, which would have been fine, except that I would have had the stripes at the top and the bottom, and then I would have had a solid colour down each side, and I didn't really like the look of that. So I decided to cut 4 strips of the stripes and then mitre the corners. Now I'm normally quite good at this, but I messed up on the first one. So I've got a slightly dodgy corner in one corner. Just don't look too closely. But the other 3 went really well. So what I do is I just layer them on top of each other as a right angle, and then I draw a line from the corner to the corner and snip off one. And then stick it over the top. And that miters them really nicely, and you get the, a good pattern match, and the corners look pretty perfect. So that's good. That's what I've done on this layout, apart from my dodgy corner. The rest is fine. And then I've trimmed the white cardstock down to 11.5 inches square, because I didn't have a lot of room on either side, but I've trimmed it down to 11.5 inches square to stress the edges, and then I'm able to just stick it directly on top of this lovely striped border, which works so well around the edge of the layout. I'm so happy that I took the time to mitre the corners rather than to just use it as a full sheet, because it really does give that lovely colourful effect all the way around the layout. Okay, so I'm just sticking that down onto the border there. That is now done. I'm really pleased I did that. It looks so good, doesn't it? So yes, okay, looking good. So I've got to the point where all my numbers are down, my photos down, my titles down, all my journaling is in place. I have a border. Now I wonder what else can I put on this layout. So again, there's quite a few gaps in between the numbers and things. I want to fill up some of those areas with some more details. So I'm going to add some foam stickers, the foam hearts. I've also got puffy stickers. Puffy stickers are perfect for something like this because they're really small. I've also got the decorative brads. They are working out really well as well in terms of being small, giving another different texture onto the layout. And then I can add some enamel dots too. I also wanted to add some labels. Now, I really am a big fan of label stickers from the 12 by 12 sticker sheets, but I didn't really have anywhere to put them without covering up journaling. Normally I would, if I had a circle, for example, I'd stick it in the middle of the circle going across, but I didn't have any of those that would work because of I'd written on all of the journaling spots. So I have instead just used one which says everyday life. I've also added the word good stuff under the photo and number 4. That's from the puffy stickers. At the top, adding enamel dots, more of those brads. So I'm just basically trying to add something little extra bit to every single one of my numbers. And that's it. So I'm just finishing off now with a few splatters of white paint, doing those kind of everywhere really, just a few, not going crazy in one area, but just a few here and there on almost all of the numbers, just to get that little white paint splatters showing up on all of the numbers. Okay, and that is this layout complete. So I had great fun making this layout. I love how it turned out. I'm so happy to document those 10 things. Those numbers really spiked my inspiration, and it was good fun to do. So I hope you liked it, and I hope that you take something from it and do one yourself. So yeah, check out the Good Stuff collection by Simple Stories. Thank you so very much for joining me. That was Nikki Rowland for Simple Stories.